Hello, my name is Randy Dobson, and this video will cover me creating this wedge-shaped object that you see on the left of my screen. As you see, my Autocad is already set up in 3D environment with the isometric view, which is one of the corners of the cube, top corner, and I have my menu at the top for doing solid modeling. If you don't have that, come down to your workspace switching and switch whatever you have to 3D modeling. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a wedge, since AutoCAD gives that to me as a primitive. So I'm going to go to wedge. I'm just going to select anywhere, come down here and give it a length. I'm going to select length, and I'm going to give it a length of 3 and a width of 3. Now it wants the height of the back of this slope, which is 2, so I'm going to type in 2. And remember, I'm pointing it up. If you point it down, then it would go the opposite way. So there is my wedge. The next thing I want to do is this center part of the wedge that's kind of a void area. I want to eliminate that. So I'm just going to draw a P line with my ortho on, and I'm going to give it a length of 2 and a width of 1, and then going back a length of 2, and then just go to close. So that is my opening. I'm going to extrude it up by selecting it. And you notice I've got it way higher than I need to be, and that's okay, because it doesn't matter if I did it exactly to a certain height. In this case, I really don't know the exact height of that opening, so I'm just going to do it as large as I can. Since this opening is separated, or it's at the center of the wedge, I'm just going to go with the 2D move. And I'm going to select my object, hit enter, then I'm going to type in MID for midpoint of this line, and then type in MID for the midpoint of my triangle right there. Of my wedge. So now if we look at this in realistic, this is what I'm looking at. So now I can use one of my commands, which is subtract, and I will select the object I want to keep, which is the wedge. I hit enter and select what I want to have subtracted or removed, and there is my opening. So I'm going to go back to 2D wireframe. So now the next thing I need to do is create these openings, these 4 openings, and understand that they are perpendicular to the slope. They're not going straight down, because if they did that, any bolt or any nut that you would put in here wouldn't be flush with the surface. So it has to go perpendicular to this surface area right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my working plane. As you see, it's down here. So now I'm just going to click on my UCS once, and then click on it again right here and drag it over to this face. And if you notice, when I click, watch the grid. The grid is now going along this working space here, this angle. Let me kind of see if I can get my rotate out here. See how it is on that angle. So I can just create this. Whatever I'm working on is just like working in 2D. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a P line that is going to be from the end point of here And I'm going to give it a width. Let's see if 0.2 is too big. No, that will work. And I'll show you why here in just a second. To the end point of here. And these openings are 0.5 over, so they're really in the middle of these two sides. So I'm going to draw another P line from the end of this cube wedge up to this area here. And I'm going to do that again for the other side. I'm going to go from the end point to here. Now, as you notice on my example, again, from the bottom, the two circles are offset 0.75. So I'm going to offset 0.75. And I'm going to grab this polyline and go up. So the center of this polyline is the center of these circles on the horizontal. Now the vertical, I'm going to do offset of 0.5. 0.5 over here and over here. And then from the bottom, I'm going to offset for these top circles up here, 0.75 and 2.4, which is 3.15. So I'm going to offset 3.15 from the bottom. So this bottom one I don't need anymore. I'm just going to erase it. So where these P lines intersect are the center of the circles that I'm going to use to create my cylinders. So now I noticed all of them are 0.5 diameter. So I'm going to go to circle diameter, and then I'm going to go to the INT intersection right there, and then type in 0.5. So there's one of them, and I'm going to do that again, INT, and I could just copy them, but I'm just going to go through the motions here for you, INT, and then 0.5. And same thing again. Start the circle diameter, then pick INT for my center, and then 0.5. And then last one here, INT, and then 0.5. Okay, so at this point, I do not need these polylines anymore. And the reason I use the thickness is because sometimes you cannot grab a line that's on top of a 3D object. So what I did is I made them thicker so it would allow me to grab them to offset. So I'm going to erase all of those. Now I want to extrude these down. So I'm going to go to extrude. I'm going to pick each one of these because I'm going to extrude them all at one time. And notice it'll let me go up or it'll let me go down. Up or down. So I want to go down, and again I'm going way past where I need to. I'm going to do it like this. Now if I show it to you in realistic, it looks kind of weird from this point, but if I rotate it around, see how the columns, the cylinders are coming out perpendicular. They're not going straight up and down. They're going perpendicular to this surface. Now all I have to do is come back to subtract, which is right here. And I'm going to pick this object that I want to keep, hit enter, and then I can select this, 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 and this, hit enter. Now I have my object. Now I'm going to change my UCS back to world. So my grid is on the bottom. So there is the final product. And as you can see on the back, the holes are distorted. Even on the bottom, they're a little distorted because they are coming perpendicular to this slope right here. Hope this helps, and that concludes this video. Thank you.